This is
Afghan history.
in a nutshell. We begin in the late 1830s when the very first Anglo-Afghanistan War came out when the British forces started invading Afghanistan. During the Second War, a treaty gave Britain control over Afghanistan's foreign affairs. And after the third and last war, Afghanistan won and was able to declare independence from the British influence. A new king rose to power in the 1930s and was able to make Afghanistan a monarchical government for the next 40 years. 20 years later, a person named General Dodd became the prime minister, and he went to the Soviet Union for economic and military assistance. While all of this was happening, the Afghanistan Communist Party was secretly forming. The last king was overthrown by Khan, and so was the monarchy when he named himself the new president of the Republic of Afghanistan. Soon after the last king was overthrown by Khan, General Dodd, the prime minister, was overthrown as well and killed in a pro-Soviet coup, and one of the founding members of the Afghan Communist Party took his place and control as the president. In the early 1980s, the Soviet army invaded Afghanistan to support the communist regime, and the Mujahideen movement was created to revolt against them. And soon after, a prime minister was elected by the Soviets. During the war, about 2.8 million Afghans fled to Pakistan and 1.5 million fled to Iran. The old Soviet prime minister was replaced by a new one called Najibullah, and the war reached a turning point when the U.S. began supplying the Mujahideen with weapons to counter the Soviet troops. Najibullah proposed a ceasefire, but the Mujahideen refused it, and by 1988, Afghanistan, the USSR, the US, and Pakistan signed peace accords, and the Soviet Union began pulling out troops. But even though the Soviet troops left, the civil war continued as the Mujahideen aimed to overthrow Najibullah, who was still being puppeted by the Soviets. By 1992, Najibullah got overthrown, but the civil war still continued, and the Mujahideen started to break down as warlords fought over the future of Afghanistan. And in 1995, the Taliban rose to power on promises of peace.